What is happening, everyone? Alex here. Now, you've probably come across the quote that says something along the lines of, it doesn't matter so much what the obstacles in your path are. What does matter is how you respond to those obstacles and challenges in your path, in your life. This reflects the words and teachings that I refer to a lot of Steve Chandler, who I recommend you read his books. He's a great coach, great mentor, great writer. And he spoke about something along the, similar lines, which is that we're either creating or reacting. We're either being creative in our lives or we're being reactive. And I love the simplicity of that. I love that there's a kind of this or that approach to how we move through our lives. And yes, we're all going to experience challenges, or at least perceived challenges, and things that get in the way, and life is never a smooth sailing path, as many of you guys can relate to, right? So we're all going to go through all kinds of challenges and obstacles. But some of us will tend to do better, just at least in the material sense and the fulfillment sense, than others. And we're always in a kind of fluctuating state. If we're not aware of this dynamic, if we're not aware of the dynamic of whether we're creating or reacting, we're going to kind of fluctuate through those without even knowing it. But it really helps, and it's really helped me in my own life to be more conscious, more aware of this simple way of seeing things, that you're either taking what's coming to you and turning it into something, i.e. creating with it, being productive with what you have and realizing that you are the creator of your whole experience ultimately to take it to the next level. Either that, or you are responding to your stimuli, responding to what's happening around you and seeing yourself in the victim mentality, seeing yourself as a victim, responding to things, ultimately reacting to life. So when we're reactive, this is when things start to kind of go downhill. We start to see things happening to us. We see ourselves kind of at the mercy of our surroundings, and we take things personally, and we overthink things, and we get in our heads, and we start blaming other people for things, and we don't take ownership. We don't take sovereignty of who we are, what we're capable of, the fact that we are spiritual beings in a human existence who have the power to really experience and even create our reality in the way that we want to, in the way that works for us, in the way that is win-win for the people around us. Creativity versus reactivity. Creativity is so much more empowering because it means that it doesn't matter what the circumstances are. It doesn't matter what's going on in my life. What matters is whether I see it in a creative sense, whether I'm seeing it through a creative lens, whether I'm seeing the potential in even the ugliest of things that are happening around me. If I struggle with no money in the bank and I'm desperate for clients and I'm worried and I have a massive tax bill coming along, I used to be floored by that kind of information. I used to see that data coming in to me from the surrounding reality, and I would have been depressed, and I would have ruminated for days, and I would have been made static by it. But the reason I became static and depressed in those moments was because I had a reactive mentality, and I wasn't aware of how simple it is and how simple a move it is to move from reactive to creative. All it takes is a decision in the moment. All it takes is a realization that we are creative, we can be creative. We're not born with a viewpoint of the world that is glass half empty. We're not born pessimists, we're not born losers. We can do with what we have what we want, and we can be creative. So we can see a massive challenge that might seem horrible to somebody else, but take it and use it and turn it into something completely different and powerful. So if, for example, we go by the previous example of me having no clients, no money coming in, there's a tax bill coming, I'm worried, I can use that as an opportunity to strengthen myself, to find resourcefulness and creativity in the moment, in the restriction, in the lack. There's always creativity to be found. There's always resourcefulness. There's always a way to figure it out. There's an opportunity here for me to level up and to strengthen my skills and to start talking to people and to start taking action, right? And in the process becoming a better teacher, a better coach, better at what I do, so that the next time this kind of thing happens, I rise to the challenge quicker, or it doesn't happen at all because I'm now elevating my own game because I've taken a creative approach. This applies to relationships, this applies to your circumstances, your work, your health. We're either creating or we're reacting. And I urge you guys just to, I'm sure many of you know this, and you might see it through a different perspective and you might label things in a slightly different way, but realize the simplicity of this. Take notice of those moments when you fall into reactive thought patterns and reactive behavior, which is very human. Most of us are in a reactive world. We're in a victim mentality. We are responding and reacting to stimulus, and we are kind of at the mercy of what the world is doing to us, and it's all unfair. That kind of thing. We can all slip into that. Even the very best of us can very often slip back into a kind of victim reactive mentality. But what is really going to help you and has helped me is knowing how easy it is to switch, knowing how there is opportunity in everything. No matter how difficult it is, there's an opportunity to turn into something creative. And it's all dependent on how we think. It's all dependent on how we see ourselves in this world and what we know we can do. So have self-awareness around when you are being reactive, and the way you do that is through your emotional awareness. If you're feeling down, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling frustrated, if you're feeling tight, that's an indication that you are in a reactive thinking mode, and your emotion in that sense is showing you what your mindset is doing. It's showing you the state of your mind, which is great. It's very helpful in that sense because it's showing you that your thoughts are not being helpful for you in that moment, and it's time to switch back over to creative thinking, to empowered thinking, to thinking that has drive and momentum and excitement behind it, because that's when your creativity is going to rise to the challenge. That's where you're going to start getting these insights, when you start thinking like an owner, thinking like a responsible person who really realizes that you are in charge of your destiny. And it's always empowering. Every time you realize that small shift, all it takes is a jump back to creativity. It is possible. It is open to us at every moment of every day. It all depends on how we want to use our mind. So with that, if I want to leave you with one thing that you can take hold of that is concrete in all of this to go with for the day, is just to take notice of when you're feeling low, feeling frustrated, and see whether you have it in you to let go of that negative thinking and to move back into an empowered mode, an empowered modus operandi, where you're focused on what's good, you're looking for opportunity again, and you're kind of riling yourself up, you're empowering yourself. So good luck with that, guys. Do subscribe to this channel if you like this content. Do share it with your friends. I always appreciate a cheeky little like, and make sure you follow my newsletter at alexmathers.net. See you soon.